Hey guys, it's your local anime wizard Zia Westalia and welcome to my channel. I'm really excited about the latest manga chapter and I simply cannot wait to share all the goodness the author Horikoshi has offered us in this chapter. I could literally squeal with excitement because the latest manga chapter made all my wishes into reality. In the previous chapter, we observed the return of Best Jeanist, and if that wasn't enough, in chapter 292, we see the return of my personal favorite hero, Mirio Togata, aka Lemillion. And yes, you heard that right. A little recap on Mirio. The first time we see Mirio is in the chapter 121, while in the anime we see him in episode 62. Mirio has the quirk permeation, which allows him to face his body or parts of himself through physical matter while still embarrassingly enough losing all pieces of clothing. Mirio doesn't really have an overpowered quirk, but rather an embarrassing and useless quirk. I mean, who'd want to see a stark naked guy running up to you to save you when you're terrified out of your mind? Not me. But Mirio's overpowering desire to become a hero wins over the uselessness of his quirk, and this results in him training hard and making his quirk into a very powerful one, and this is revealed when Mirio meets Class 1A and whoops their asses. Mirio is shown to be constantly looking for ways to improve his skills, and he tries to work towards his goal by accumulating different experiences and learning from them. He is also shown to be the kind who is not scared easily. This is seen when Mirio and Midoriya meet Chisaki on the streets. In contrast to the tension, Mirio is able to keep his calm and talk to Chisaki very calmly, not adding fuel to the fire. Followed by this is the Chisaki arc, during which Mirio takes the lead and single-handedly combats Overhaul, Chronostasis, Deidoro Sakaki, and Shin Nemoto. In order to protect Eri and to never let her know what pain really is, Mirio defends her even though it costed him his quirk and ultimately the potential title of being named the #1 pro hero. Despite all this, his willingness to protect Eri and to be a true hero is seen when he continues to fight quirkless. Personally, I dislike the fact that Mirio lost his quirk, but of course that highlighted how amazing of a hero he really is, and also shows how selfless he was to the point of losing everything he'd built up for the past 18 years just to protect a traumatized little girl. What a true hero. As a Mirio fan, it was very painful to watch Mirio for the rest of the season in the anime, but sad hours are finally over and Mirio has finally returned as Lemillion to save the day. In the chapter 292, we see that Best Jeanist has Gigantomachia in his grasp, but due to the injury from the Bakugo rescue arc, we see that his grasp is overcome by Gigantomachia slowly after Shigaraki commands him to break free. Shoto vs. Dabi almost starts after Shoto gets pissed since Dabi attacks Neijire Hado and taunts Endeavor by saying that another starry-eyed kid with a bright future was burnt to ashes by Endeavor's flames. And Midoriya is seen pushing himself to stand up and support Best Jeanist despite his own injuries. Just when things started going downhill for the Hero Society, we see Mirio return with his quirk back in action at the end of the chapter. What a relief. The scene is honestly so enthralling that I got goosebumps. But imagine how mighty the scene would be when it gets animated with all the glorious background music. I actually thought that Horikoshi might make Mirio the first quirkless hero, but this plan is fantastic as well. Coming to the most important question of the day, how did Mirio's quirk return? There are actually quite a few possibilities. The first one being that maybe after seeing the mayhem surrounding the Hero Society, Mirio went to Eri and using Eri's rewind quirk, he got his quirk back. Now this is highly likely since we see that Aizawa previously did tell All Might that he was going to train Eri, enabling her to use her quirk under control. Although we don't see Aizawa training her, assuming that she can use her quirk well for the benefit of others, Mirio may have gotten his quirk back. When we think about this, it's actually quite confusing since the bullet made using Eri's quirk that caused Meteor to be quirkless in the first place rewinded his quirk genes to when they were inactive, and then making Eri rewind him again, well, that just doesn't make any sense. The third being that he extracted his quirk DNA from his hero costume, which is made of his hair, which still contains his quirk DNA from when he had a quirk. Although this also seems quite unlikely since Mirio would have had to extract his DNA, isolate the quirk gene, and then add it to his body, which is a lengthy process, but given that the MHA universe is quite advanced in technology, it would mean that Mirio would have had a team of scientists working on it. And if the author decides that this would be the definite reason, then, well, since we haven't seen the process, it would be a total asshole. Fourth being that this is an illusion, which is a serious letdown and extremely heartbreaking. The reason for this is because Toga. During the Chisaki arc, she may have taken some of Mirio's blood, and now that she can also transform using her quirk and use their quirk, she would have probably used Mirio's quirk, just as we see in the end of the chapter. Although this would be a serious revenge on the Hero Society after what Hawks did, because in this case she's going to be giving all the heroes hope, but then she'll be tearing it down later. This is very, very unlikely because it would have not been possible for Toga to have collected Mirio's blood after he lost his quirk, and even if she did, the blood sample that she would have taken would have been quirkless because Mirio ends up losing a lot of blood after he loses his quirk because he keeps battling Chisaki. So there's no way she could have used Mirio's quirk in the latest chapter. In contrast, what if she took the blood that was spilled before he lost his quirk? Well, it would have been on the ground mixed with mud, and thus there would have been hardly any edible blood at all, and therefore this theory also seems extremely unlikely. However, I do hope that the author doesn't resort to the fourth reason, because come on, the Hero Society has lost too much and cannot afford this one last blow to the gut. I sure do hope that the author backs up Mirio's return with a solid reason, but whatever the reason, I'm glad that Mirio is kicking and living up to Sir Night's predictions. This chapter just made my day, and I think to know that Mirio is finally getting what he deserves is gonna keep me going for the rest of the week. I cannot wait to see the next chapter, and I really hope that a certain other hero also makes his return as well. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. All my social media is linked down below, and my MHA webtoon is also linked, so be sure to check it out to have a good laugh. See you in the next video.